The Give It a Go Show! Welcome to the Give It a Go Show, where we give things a go and talk about it. I'm Prince.
And I'm Rivert.
We tried some things, and I say that with this kind of voice because you'll find out.
Sounds like we might have had similar experiences.
You know, I was gonna, part of me is a little glad because, oh my gosh, I struggled. I was doing my thing yesterday. I put it up quite a bit.
Yep.
Okay. Because it was, I figured it was gonna take some time. It was going to take some doing. I wanted to set aside ample time to sit and look up everything I needed to do and just do it.
Okay.
So what I started doing was knitting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. And this is on our graphics, so I figured I might as well try it out eventually, right?
Okay. Yeah.
My girlfriend got me this nice pink yarn, some matching pink needles.
That sounds lovely. Yep.
Yeah, very cute. They are extremely long.
Yep.
So, and I used a very informative video by RJ Knits on YouTube. It's called How to Knit.
Knits. Oh, I thought that was their name, RJ Knits.
Oh, it's my name, RJ Knits.
Guess what I do?
I knit. No, it's called How to Knit, Easy for Beginners.
Okay.
I think his name is Ryan or something.
Ryan, yep.
Yeah, I'm a very visual learner, so
yes,
the way that he slowly goes through each action as he's explaining them was extremely helpful.
Yeah.
As I soon came to realize, I may, however, be an idiot.
Oh no.
I can't tell you how many times I redid everything, every step, just to make sure I performed each little movement correctly. So, like, you'd have to be pretty dexterous to do it fast. I already knew, but I was following it so closely. He has this close-up of his fingers and his needles and the little knots, and I was like, okay, I did this part right, and it looks right, and then I keep going in the same manner, and I swear it felt like I was doing exactly what he was doing. But even when I redid it just in case, like, taking the knots out and just doing it over, and most definitely did it correctly, by the way. It just didn't turn out that way.
Oh no, what did you make? Were you just trying to do, like, a little patch?
I didn't get that far.
Oh no.
So, I thought I was going insane. This adorable pink yarn I had sitting on my desk like a lump of dough was straight up gaslighting me. I rewind the video, I remove my knots, I try again, I do exactly what he does, and I'm like, okay, maybe I skipped a little step, maybe I didn't do it exactly like maybe this part of the yarn was looped here.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And I tried again. First part's easy, where you're supposed to attach the yarn to the first needle. That's easy.
Yeah.
I definitely did that right. The actual knitting part is like a fever dream.
Yeah, I've tried knitting before, and I had a similar experience. I think I couldn't get say if the yarn came off of the needle, I couldn't get it back on, and then I gave up.
I'm just like, just transferring the yarn to the second needle.
Oh, no.
Which is the actual knitting, but it's the first part of it, I suppose. I don't know how do grandmas do this? How does RJ Knits do this? How does RJ Knits? It's like, because I never thought I'd make it far enough to create something useful or pretty, but I at least thought I would, knit.
Yeah, like get into the rhythm.
Yeah, I did. I didn't get far enough to knit. This is my legacy. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to talk about this now, and I didn't even manage to do it. Because when you look at knitting, if you look at somebody knitting, does it look complicated?
It looks quite easy when you watch someone else do it. You're like, yeah, I could do that. And then when you start trying to do it, it's like,
yeah,
I can't
right?
do that.
Because the first thing I think about is just, okay, this is something that you hone. This is something that as you get better at it, you're going to get, I guess, you can do it faster, you can do it without thinking so much, and you won't stumble with your fingers. But when you look at it, it looks like something that is very, okay, you do this and you do this, and then you knit. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, or because I know...
I don't think it is. Like I said, I had similar experiences. Either we're both idiots or I don't know.
The worst part is that I do have memories of, because back in school, like in middle school, around the time before high school in general, we would get the choice between doing like woodworking or doing crafts like sewing and stuff. And I always picked the textile activity. And I'm pretty sure we did crocheting, knitting, sewing, all the whole shebang. And like, I don't have a story for it or anything. We just did it, and it was a long time ago, so I don't remember. But I swear, me as a child grasped it better, and even then, I didn't have a close-up of somebody's fingers the entire time to rewind. I had to wait for my turn to get help from one person who's supposed to help like 20. And I'm pretty sure I did it. So I'm like, is this a different way of knitting? Do we knit differently in Sweden? Like, what? Why is this? So what I thought knitting was gonna be like was basically that, you know, you follow the steps and then you've done it.
Yeah.
But why when I followed the steps didn't I done it?
I don't know, I sometimes don't find that close-ups help when you're like watching the videos because, I don't know, too much is going on, I don't like it.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing though, like I didn't feel like there was any problem with the video visually. Like, I could definitely see everything that was happening, and he took it very slow and explained it very well. So I like paused it to make sure, okay, this is the part where I pull the second needle, this is what I do with it, but... it's so strange. It just didn't work. I'm like, why is it not? And I was like, no, I have to keep going. It's for the podcast. I have to at least make something, okay? And then eventually I was just like, I pulled all the things off. I dragged the yarn back out and I put it down. And I just went, I can't do it.
No, oh my goodness.
And my girlfriend got up and was like, what do you mean? Like, no, do you want me to try? And I was like, dude, it's really hard. I tried, okay?
But also, if your girlfriend could do it, then that would hit the pride a little bit. I know I'd feel the same, because Toby could do a lot of things that I feel like I should be able to do like that, but like sewing, he sews up all my clothes, for example, when I get holes in them. I can't sew for shit, like, you know.
Yeah, I think because she's so craftsy.
She's very crafty.
That she would most likely be able to do it, but I was still like, dude, don't underestimate this. I was like, no, this is so hard. At least like in terms of how many steps there are before you actually learn it. And so it wasn't something where I could just like, oh yeah, just watch it and do it, because there were a fair amount of steps that are a little slow at first for beginners. Yeah. But yeah, I just put everything down and I was like, I really tried, but I don't think I can do it. Yeah, basically. And she was just, you know, trying to encourage me like, oh, but no, you can do it. Yeah, and I was just like, I tried over and over, but it won't work. It's not working. So I put it all down and I rolled up the yarn again and I gave it back to her.
Oh no.
You know, part of me, I don't feel very satisfied.
Yeah, I know what you mean, I guess, because, it didn't go so well.
Yeah, so when it comes to, you know, will I try this again? Yeah. Maybe another time I'll try again.
When you're feeling a bit more ready.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll try some different videos as well. Maybe I need it explained in a different way. Maybe I need their situation to be the same as mine in terms of, like, what kind of yarn and what kind of needles. He had very short needles. I had extremely long ones, and his yarn was also thicker, so...
Okay, I don't know if there's a difference personally, but
I don't know either, but I feel like if I want to do it like I did with the recipe for the lemon bread, I should make it so that it's exactly the same.
I know what you mean.
Except for the vanilla pudding mix, but listen, that's just the color. I can have a pink needle and they can have a black one, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Let's get that past me immediately so I don't have to think about it again, and you tell me your thing that you did flawlessly and with joy.
Oh, I wish I could. Funny, you were talking about how when you were in school you had the option between either textiles or woodworking, because I did the latter.
Oh my goodness. We didn't even plan this. That's amazing.
No, we didn't. For the record, I don't know if we've said this before, but neither of us know what the other's done until we come to record. I was going to upcycle a bedside cabinet, but I have actually done that before, so I said, actually, I'd like to do something a bit different. However, I have before said, get into some DIY. I want to be a strong woman who can do DIY well and build shit and make my own shelves. So I said to my husband, who he's quite handy, if there's anything like that to do, I usually leave it to him. But I said, no, I would like to try it. And he said, well, what do you want to make? And I said, I'd like to make myself a new monitor stand with a few more compartments. Because the one I have at the moment, he built that for me. It's split straight in the middle. So I designed a new one. We popped to the hardware store. I spent way more money than I wanted to, but here we are. Yeah, yesterday he got everything ready for me, bless him. So the first step was marking things down. Did that. That was fine. And then I actually had to saw the piece of wood, which I have not done in many years. I've not sawed anything in many years. And I think maybe when I last did it was with some kind of kid saw. I don't know if kid saws exist, or, like a little hacksaw sort of thing.
Yeah.
When I was younger. So I was using a big old saw, and I think it was the first time I'd used one. And the other thing is, on Friday I got my first COVID vaccine. So my arm, which was also my sawing arm.
You're sawing.
Yes, so I got it done in my right arm. I'm left-handed, so I thought that
my sawing arm.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it, but I said, I'd like it in the right arm because I'm left-handed, but I do everything else with my right hand. So,
gosh.
So when it came to sawing, I did end up waiting a couple days, well, a day, because I was like, I can't do it today, I'm in pain. But I do think that put me at a little bit of a disadvantage when I did come to doing it, so... Either that or I'm just so weak. I was... The whole time I was like...
It's like the lemons all over again, except for you.
Oh my goodness. I could not. The amount of times... and then the MDF would squeak and I was like, I don't like this. And so I sawed out all the pieces. Well, I thought I had. And then my husband went, well, we've got all this over here to mark up yet. These are all like the legs and things. And I just went, no, I've had enough. So he ended up sawing all the rest of the pieces. He loves doing it, for the record. He wanted to finish it off, so I said, okay, you can do it since you enjoy doing it, and I have decided I hate it. Next step was sanding with the electric sander, which I've never used before. My arms felt like jelly every time I used it, but I sanded all the pieces myself, so I was quite happy about that. And then it came to drilling the holes in. I just couldn't be bothered. I just could not be bothered. He did it. He drilled the holes in. So this was kind of a joint one in the end. Because I hated it, and I just was like, I can't finish this. And he was like, no, we're finishing it. I'll finish it. And I was like, oh my God. I felt so bad. Here? I know. I gave it a go. I did the sawing. Well, some of the sawing. I did the sanding, and then I left him to do the holes because I didn't want to fuck it up. So
But it would have been really funny if you had fucked it up, though.
I know, but I genuinely would like this new monitor stand. So I was like, I might break it. I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal because I'm the only one who's looking at it, really. But I just was, I don't know, I took a 2-hour nap. And then I got up, and then Toby was like, all right, cool. Well, we're going to paint it now.
Outstanding.
So he's left me to do the painting. I haven't finished it yet. I started it yesterday. I got very angry just doing the painting. I painted the wrong side of one of the shelves.
Oh my God.
So he was like, no, this is the shelf. I thought it was the leg. No, it's not. I don't know what I'm doing. I have to reassemble it, and he said he's going to make me do that by myself, which is what I deserve. So I said to Toby, it's like, I'm not doing this again. I know I said I wanted to be handy and I wanted to learn how to do DIY, but I hate it and I never want to do it again.
Oh my God.
Weak.
Oh, that's very... oh my goodness, that's very dramatic of a conclusion to that. It seems like it happened so quickly, too.
Yeah, it did happen quite quickly, because we had about a 4-hour gap in the day until it was due to rain. So we had to get all of the outdoor stuff done in like a few hours, which was fine. But I'm just slow, and I was so weak. And I was like soaring, and I was just like, I can't do it. I don't like it. You know what, it's kind of my fault because I designed what we were building, and I obviously designed it in such a way that we needed so many pieces, so it is kind of my fault. I'm very fortunate that my husband does really enjoy woodworking and he enjoys building things, but poor man, I just could not be bothered, you know. I sawed a few pieces, I sanded everything, and I've started painting it, and I will finish it, and I'll try and assemble it and post a picture, but oh God, no thanks.
We really leave the heavy lifting to our spouses, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I love just the image of us both being, we're gonna do this thing. Heck yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna do it all by myself. And then, like, 10 minutes in, we're like, no, I can't do it. You do it.
That was exactly what happened with mine. I sawed a few pieces and Toby went, all right, now we got to move on to these bits. I said, oh, we've got to saw all of that. And he was like, yes. And I said, I'm tired. I can't be bothered. I went to sleep for 2 hours. Oh my goodness. I said to Toby,
you just did like a little bit and you're like, wow, what a hard day's work. Oof, time to go home and nap.
I'm done. I've had enough. Yeah, I mean, you know what, I did a bit, and then Toby was, bless him, he was so good. He was so patient with me, especially when I was sawing things and I was going out of the markings and going, I've ruined it. And he was like, no, you haven't, you're fine. And I was like, no, I've ruined it, I fucking ruined it.
So
and he was,
stupid.
oh, bless him. He's so patient with me. He really is. He's the most patient man on earth. I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like doing this. I don't like it. And he kept going, do you want me to do it? And I was like, no, I'll do more. I need to do more. And then it just got to a point where I've had enough.
Fell asleep.
I just was like, I'm just going to lie down with the dog for a bit. And then I fell asleep, which I knew would happen. So, you know.
We may be idiots.
But we're here and we're doing this for you.
Yeah, we're idiots for you.
Yeah, this is for you.
After we've done all these things, then you can feel good about yourself because you'll be able to do them way better.
Yes, not the most successful week for either of us, but we gave it a go. That's the whole premise. It doesn't always go well. Sometimes you just can't be bothered.
Well, I guess there's been a lot of things where some things you will actually work really hard for and other things you will just be kind of like...
Some things, you give it a go and you just go, this isn't for me. This isn't my kind of thing, unfortunately. But that's the thing. If you don't try it, you don't know.
Speaking of which, for my memory that I brought today, I want to talk about when I used to do comics.
Oh, I've heard very briefly about this, but I don't know too much, so I'll be interested to hear.
Yes, the whole thing in itself is like not a very long story, but it's stretched over many years, most of my life. When I was little, I always made little stories already. Before I even had read any comics, I would make my own characters, I would draw my stories, and I would have this, I guess, notebooks, basically. They were like A4 notebooks, and they were all lined, but I still used those, and one entire page would be one panel of the story. I would just open to one whole page, draw a horizontal line for the ground, and then, then I would draw the
characters. I did similar things,
So that's already what I did, but when I discovered Dragon Ball, which was my first manga, I became obsessed with manga.
Okay.
As a lot of artists I know originally
Your
were.
origin story.
Yeah, the origin story. Many artists' origin stories start the same. They got into manga, and so I specifically wanted to be like, I want to be a manga artist. I want to draw comics. So I really wanted to do that after discovering manga. And I'd never even, I didn't draw humans back then. So the first time I started drawing humans was around the time I started tracing Dragon Ball.
Okay, yeah.
But I was like 10, I don't know. So there was no internet to put that on, so don't even worry about it. So I started a lot of comics just kind of out of nowhere, and I started many of them at the same time. Most of them I didn't even continue at all. I just made a cover. I loved the idea of just brainstorming a story, making the cover to make it seem real, and then not doing anything with it.
Oh yeah, I did similar things. I always remember this one comic story that I wrote called Bird Woman.
Bird Woman?
I actually wrote the whole story, it was shit, but obviously, I was like 6, sorry, I'm just roasting my 6-year-old self here.
If you can't let your stories be shit when you're 6, then I don't know what to tell you.
I've written other masterpieces, like that menu that I showed you from when I went to Disneyland. I don't know why.
Where it says water and mud bake.
And water drink.
Water
famously.
drink with CK.
Yes. Yes, we'll maybe go into that a bit more another day, but yes, carry on, sorry.
So at this point, this was between maybe when I was around 12 or 13 to my early 20s. I made a magical girl comic I don't remember anything about. I'd been really into Tokyo Mew Mew, so I drew that, and I made a comic about some circus people. I made a comic about a fox man, which had a lot of weird and kind of problematic elements in it because, I don't know, it was very edgy.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, whatever. He had a lot of eyeshadow, who cares?
Yeah.
A bunch of other ones. There were more than you can even imagine. And some of them I did carry on for a while, and I started uploading some of them online when online was a thing. So to DeviantArt, to Smack Jeeves, and I actually got some, I wouldn't say fans, some readers. I got some people who said that they liked it, and that was actually very meaningful at the time because it can make or break whether you continue doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
The unfortunate thing, though, is that I wanted to publish something, and it's not really quote-unquote good enough, I suppose. Like, I didn't have the knowledge and experience to, send something into a publisher, for example.
Yeah.
But I really, really wanted to make something that would become real, a book or something.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And I wanted it so bad that it actually kind of messed me up a little bit. Like, it was that kind of dream where it was painful how much you wanted it. I would cry into my pillow, like,
oh my goodness,
just wanting to be a comic artist. For a while there, that it was getting very sad, almost like the voice acting thing, but worse. Like, I really, my whole life, I wanted to do comics. So I wanted it so bad that eventually I kind of burned myself out on comics. So I stopped for a while. This was
comics are hard as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I've tried to do it before. It's so much work. It's so difficult sometimes.
I still kept drawing at that time. I think this was around the time I was in high school. So I was drawing my comics in school, like on breaks and after
I used
school.
to do that. Yeah.
I'd go to the library, I'd draw my comics. I'd draw comics in class if I could get away with it at all. I just kept doing it, and I kept updating my comics online, and I had to stop. It was just too much. So I stopped for some years, and then in my early 20s somewhere, after not having drawn comics for a long time, I talked to a friend about a dream I'd had where I'd made a cover of a comic that featured their character.
Okay.
And so randomly, we started thinking about a story. And so we were like, let's make something just for the sake of making it. We don't want to become anything, just gonna make it because we want to make this story. So we started thinking about a comic, and I got to work on it. We collaborated on the story and some character designs, and I did the comic. And I was like, all right, well, I used to upload my stuff to Smack Jeeves. I'll upload this one to Smack Jeeves, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I uploaded it, and it was discovered by somebody who worked for a printing company.
Ooh.
And they wanted a contract with me.
Oh, yes. You've vaguely spoken to me about this.
Or rather, with us, of course.
Yes.
But they contacted me because I was the one who uploaded the comic. And it was a very tiny sort of company. They made a lot of their own stuff. They were gathering a bunch of other artists as well and kind of jump-starting their company, I suppose, a little more. And so I was like, well, this was my dream forever, so I have to do it, right? So I did, and that's when I realized, I don't want to do this, actually.
Okay.
Which feels like a slap in the face to the younger me, but you grow and you change.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's things like this where they seem, it's like, oh, this is the big thing I want. This is such a cool thing to do. I'd love to do it. I'd love to be a manga artist. I love manga. And then it's one of those things where it's like, once you actually do it, you're like, this is a lot of work. It's
yeah, and there's no like specific important big reason why. I just didn't want to do comics anymore. And I still enjoy doing one page of something every once in a while, but it's rare. So I used to enjoy it, obviously. That's why I did it so much. Yeah. But I just didn't anymore. But I was like, okay, but I still got to do it because I got a contract. That's amazing. Yeah. That's what I wanted. So I should keep doing it. And so I kept on working on it, but I was not enjoying myself anymore. And so I had to tell my friend after a fair amount of pages in, because we were stressing to get it out at a certain time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you start getting deadlines and things, that's when it starts to get a bit more real and a bit more like, this isn't fun anymore.
Because we tried to make it so that okay, this day we work on this, and like I don't have to do it every single day or something, but it turned out to be kind of like that. And so I had to tell my friend that I couldn't do it anymore. But I guess it wouldn't really have mattered anyway, because the company went bankrupt. And I mean, it's probably because they were mostly publishing kind of whoever they wanted. And that was a very wonderful dream, because a lot of people who normally wouldn't have gotten accepted by a publisher got accepted with them. But unfortunately, people weren't buying the books.
I guess that's the trouble. It's you can't, unfortunately, publish everyone, because not everyone's going to sell, unfortunately.
Exactly, and that sucks, because I really... I love what they did. I love that they did do that, and they gave people a chance, and people could see their books in bookstores. And it was amazing, but because of that, I suppose there was nobody picking up the books, and that's really sad that happened. But they became bankrupt, and I kind of saw that as almost a sign that I was doing the right thing, and that's basically like the arc of me dreaming of doing comics, getting to do comics, and then
realizing it's not what you wanted.
Immediately being like, oh shit, I don't want this at all. And it's very strange to talk about, just because it feels weird to be like, this is my dream, that other people who dream of, they don't get a contract even when they work really, really hard, and then I got one and I don't even want it. I felt really bad about that for a while.
Well, but it's like I said though, isn't it? It's once you actually start doing it, especially at a professional capacity, where you start getting things like deadlines and you have to actually do it all the time. Sometimes it takes the fun out, I guess.
Yeah, it does. It took me a while to balance that out with just art in general, because for some time, if something you think is fun is the thing that you turn into work, then it becomes work. It's not your hobby anymore. It's not fun anymore. So I've learned to balance that now, but back then it was getting pretty tough to just draw as a hobby when it's your job. Yeah. It was a roller coaster of stuff, but it was very formative, I suppose. Yeah. I'm glad I did all that.
I was going to say, it's probably good that you went through it and then you were like, actually, nah, rather than...
Like, I got...
now.
Yes, I got some closure from myself. I'd quit comics, and it was very painful, and then I gave it a try again, and it just wasn't for me. I think it was very important for me to make that distinction, to draw that line for myself. So, the very sort of little deep conversation this time, but... Yes. I feel like a lot of the things I used to do, I went in very hard on the stuff that I actually did. Yeah. So I went in hard on voice acting, I went in hard on comics and all of that, and usually it turned into some kind of... a little bit of a bummer every once in a while, but kind of an important thing that I'm glad I did.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
Sometimes I still think, I would love to make a comic of this. And then I stop myself and I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't love it.
I know. I do the same thing, because when I was a teenager, I dreamt of making the story, that is now Nightshade, which is the little bit of a plug, but I've not done anything for it yet. So I used to do the same thing. I used to spend hours working on it and drawing stuff for it and doing comics for it. And I really wanted to do comics for it. And then I did one chapter and I went, nah. But luckily I wasn't in a contract. I could just do it, and I just went, it's too much. I did, because I'd set myself a deadline, so I was like, I had to follow my own deadline, but I still remember taking a week off of work to finish the chapter, and I hated it after. I just rushed this. I don't like it. I'm not proud of this. And I'd put so much work into it, and oh goodness, no. Yeah, so I get where you're coming from. Now, this is a story that I know that you've wanted me to tell. This is completely irrelevant to what I did today. Well, not today, yesterday. It's the cake shake story.
Yes. Yes.
I know you've wanted me to tell this one.
This and the steak story, they are like in a nice little bow. You'd wrap them up. That's how I feel.
A little bad experience with food package, I guess. I will just preface this by saying, if anyone does happen to know who I'm talking about, or the business I'm talking about with regards to the cake shakes, please do not harass them.
Yes, do not.
Not that I think you would, but please don't. She's just trying to make a living. It's just not for me. Anyway, so I think it was last year. I sat in lockdown. I was working from home. My husband was working from home. And I thought, fancy a little treat. And a lot of these little milkshake cake places were setting up on Facebook, these little local ones where they were just trying to make a bit extra, just, they'd make like sweet boxes and stuff, come and drop them off at your house, etc. And there was one lady that I kept seeing popping up in the local groups, and I thought, delightful, this looks lovely. She was advertising cake shakes, and I thought that this would be a milkshake that tasted like cake. So, you know, like, say, I think they had like a red velvet one, so I assumed, oh, it's going to taste like a red velvet cake. And it's all blended up type thing. So I contacted the lady and I said, yes, I'd love a cake shake. And she's like, alright, cool, lovely. A couple days later, my husband collected said cake shake. Oh, I will preface this as well by saying, I did ask my husband if he wanted one, and he said, no, it sounds like too much sugar. This is foreshadowing. He said, it sounds like too much sugar, but the lady said to me, no, they're amazing. They're fantastic. They're so good. I love these cake shakes. And I said, well, if you don't want one, I'm still going to have one. But anyway, he collected my cake shake. I got it, and he was like, I don't know if you're going to like this. And I said, why? And I looked in the cup. So it was a plastic cup, you know, like you'd get from Costa Coffee or Starbucks, you know, like the plastic ones with the hole in them. And I was like, why? It looks all right. And I looked into the cup, and it wasn't a cake-flavoured milkshake. It was a cake chopped into pieces and shoved into the cup with an absolute shit ton of icing and syrup. And when I say that, there's so much. I had, I think it was a Lotus Biscoff one. I'm a big fan of the old Lotus Biscoff. So, anyway, so I ate this thing begrudgingly. It was alright at first. I got through the cake, all good. I could not finish the rest of it because there was so much icing and syrup left in it. I couldn't finish it. I could not finish it. And then in the evening, after I told everyone I'd eaten this monstrosity, I was sick. I just felt really ill, and then the next day the lady messaged me and she said, how was your cake shake?
How was your regular straight up cake?
Yeah, how was your cup of diabetes, pretty much? And I just said, oh, it's not for me.
Yeah, at least you didn't say to her what you said to the steak lady, it was great.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I just said, you know, I thought it's a small business that I was going to give some respectful feedback. I just said, it's not for me. It's just a bit too sugary for me. Not including the fact that I vomited. And
yeah.
And she was like, oh, really?
Oh, really?
You put a whole piece of cake in there with an absolute shit ton of icing and syrup. Do you not think that was going to be too sweet?
Why aren't they just advertising that they make cake?
Why don't they just sell it as cake? It would have been so much better.
The entire selling point of a cake, and the entire reason why the cake is a cake, is so that you can have it in layers. It is layered a certain way, and even if it wasn't, it's beautiful to look at. Like when you get a slice and it's very pretty, and
you're like, oh,
it looks appetizing.
Yes.
Isn't that what you want? Why would you want to shove it in a glass or a cup? Like,
I don't know.
That's why I love this story so much, because it's so funny and almost a little sad. Think about the chopped up cake in the cup, in a plastic cup, and be like, wow, what a waste of cake. Like, you've squandered the magic of cake. And I don't even like cake that much because I can't handle the cream.
And also, doesn't the term cake shake imply to you that it's a cake flavoured milkshake? I don't know if it's just me.
It does imply that it's a shake, and it wasn't a shake. It was a cake.
It wasn't a shake. It was cake. It was just the cake. It was shoved into a cup with some icing and syrup. And I just was like, I can't eat anymore.
It's a cake in a cup, and that's it.
It pretty much was. It was vile. I'm so sorry. If you enjoy cake shakes in this form, then fair enough. You're stronger than I, but I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. It just
if you like it, then that's great.
That's great for you.
But I think that a cake is supposed to be enjoyed the way that it is made, which is in layers, because that's how you get all the flavors where they're supposed to be.
The worst part was, I think that the cake had been baked into, like a cake with layers, and then cut up and put in.
No, what a waste! Why would you do that?
That's just so much extra effort. Why not just bake the cake and then just cut it up and put...
I know. For the frustration that's coming out, like, why would you? And I say that with the utmost of love. Why would you do that? Because you're spending so much time of your life to make something in a way that it's not going to be eaten in. Why would you specifically make it a layered cake and not have it eaten like a layered cake?
Oh my goodness.
Chop it up and shove it in a cup.
There was so much icing and syrup in the cup that from the picture she posted, it looked like a blended milkshake. That's how much syrup and icing was in there. I thought it was a blended milkshake. And then, I got it and I looked in and there was just these huge chunks of cake. I was so angry.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but cakes are typically sweet on their own.
Yeah,
so
usually...
why does it, pray tell... need to be dunked in all of that? I mean, I know why.
know.
To mask it and make it look like it's a shake.
It was not. It was just, oh my goodness. It was
not
just
a
sweet
shake.
thing on top of sweet thing on top of sweet thing. And syrup alone is super sugary.
I just love how much we're putting this.
Oh, we're so angry about this. I know.
Putting this person on blast.
I know. I'm so sorry to them, but it was too much for me, okay? And I just don't agree with the premise. I'm sorry. If other people like it, then all the power to you, but...
Yeah.
Nah.
Who are we to say you can't enjoy this thing? Alright, I think I need some news in my brain now to cleanse.
Have I got the story for you?
Rivet's News Corner.
So, this story was found by my husband. He found this and he said, you have to talk about this. This will be great. And I do agree with him. It's a great story. So, still talking, I guess, about food. This is the headline. £42,000 of missing pistachios lead to possible illegal pistachio operation. And I wondered what the illegal element was here, but now I see. So a pistachio company in California noticed that thousands of pounds of its main product had gone missing, and a truck driver was running an illegal pistachio operation.
I was gonna say, it's me. I ate them. It was me. Love me some pistachios.
Yeah, this guy, he stole 42,000 pistachios and he was running an illegal pistachio ring. I think that's amazing. I mean, I like pistachio flavored things. I don't think I've really ever eaten any.
That is amazing because of all the illegal rings that you can be.
Yes.
I think being an illegal pistachio smuggling ring is probably one of the most wonderful ones you can be.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I only read the headline initially, but now I see that the illegal element was that he was stealing the pistachios. I didn't see that before, and I was just like, what's their problem? This guy just has a lot of pistachios. He's just reselling them. Leave him alone.
He's selling them back on the street.
Yeah, he actually was, though. He was...
Man, give me some pistachios. Come on, man. You know I'm good for it.
I need my fix. Yeah, detectives found the pistachios were being moved from £2,000 sacks into smaller bags for resale.
Oh, like a Ziploc bag?
I don't know. I'd love to see it. So apparently there was a tractor trailer containing pistachios that had been moved from, I presume it's like a distribution centre of some variety. And yeah, the truck driver was just making off with all the pistachios and reselling them. I wonder at what point did he go, I could make so much money off of these. They are quite expensive, aren't they, actually? Like nuts, pistachios.
Some people just want their nuts.
And that is fair.
They don't want to purchase their nuts from the man.
Yeah, exactly. They want to be helping the small businesses out there.
They want to help the middleman.
They want to help the middleman.
The literal middleman.
Yeah, there's a picture of this guy's mugshot from...
Imagine having a mugshot for stealing pistachios.
Yeah,
that's a real pistachio stealing mugshot.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
does he look really sad like people do in the
He
mugshot?
does. He looks really sad. He looks really disappointed with himself is the phrase I'd use to describe it.
I would be happy with myself.
God, and it's just the way that they've written about it. It just sounds so serious from the county sheriff's office that caught him. They're like, they say a routine audit by the Touchstone Pistachio Company revealed that approximately £42,000 of pistachios were missing. And the TCSO Crimes Unit were contacted and requested to investigate the theft. And they found that this dude, Alberto Montemayor of Montemayor Trucking, was arrested. That's it. And if you've got any information, you have to contact the sheriff's department.
If you see any pistachios, you contact me. If you see any
suspicious pistachios, then please contact the sheriff's office.
Some suspicios.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh my goodness. I mean, I get it from the perspective of the company. Obviously, it's what they do, and losing that many pistachios is...
Oh, of course, yeah.
Awful.
It's heinous.
But
usually it is phrased that way in terms of drugs or something.
Yes, it's just the way that the article's phrased. Like, you got caught the illegal pistachio operation. It's like, I'm just picturing this illegal pistachio ring and all these people quietly moving to distribute their pistachios to the people in need. They're just...
Yeah, the people really need their pistachios. And
they do.
You imagine being in jail and someone's just like, so what are you in for? And he's like, smuggling some nuts.
Oh, okay. I don't think he's been sentenced yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope they let him go.
I don't know if they should let him go, but I think...
Slap on the wrist, maybe.
Yeah. Good news is the remaining pistachios were returned to the Touchstone Pistachio Company, so they got the remainder back. But yeah, on Facebook it says many commenters seemed entertained by the nature of the crime.
Of course, because it's funny.
I was about to say who would laugh at this, but you know.
Yeah. You just said it was funny like 2 seconds ago.
It is, yeah, I know. One seemingly amused commenter wrote, "Good job, detectives. I guess you've really cracked this case. Guy must have been nuts to think he could get away with it."
Sometimes...
Shut up!
Sometimes humanity is good.
Yeah, fair play to this man. He's just on his pistachio hustle.
Yeah.
Pretty much was being run a bit like a drug ring, I guess, if you think about it. I mean, apart from the fact that they don't just store drugs in like a warehouse and sell them, and the truck driver's like, I'll have some of that.
Just give me that green pistachio dust.
Give me some of them nuts, boy.
Oh my god! Your parents listen to this.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry. They'll be alright. They said worse.
Oh my god.
I think it's a good spot to end this segment on.
Yeah. Let's talk about what fun we've had. I watched another movie this time. I watched an animated movie, and I'm gonna be spoiling the beginning a bit, but it's the premise. So it's called The Anthem of the Heart. It's about this little girl who's basically a big chatterbox. She's very innocent. She's very enamored by princesses and princess and castles and that kind of magical stuff. And so when she runs up to this castle on a hill after school and daydreams about going there for big balls and stuff like that, she sees her father exit in a car with a lady who's not her mother.
Okay.
She thinks, wow, my dad's like a prince. And so she runs home to her mom to tell her about how she saw her dad with a princess and how it's weird that the princess wasn't her mom. She kind of chatters on, like, happily not knowing the implications of what she saw. So, yeah, to clarify even more, the castle was a hotel.
Oh, okay.
A love hotel.
Oh, this sounds really sad.
So as a result, her parents split up, and the little girl thinks it's due to her words. So her dad even like straight up turns to her and blames her being a chatterbox as the reason why they're breaking up. So she locks her words up and stops speaking altogether. And she's led to believe that if she keeps being a chatterbox, she won't find her own prince, she won't have a happily ever after, she's gonna just keep hurting people. Very sad, I know. So then fast forward a bit, it's been some years, she's been this quiet kid now, she's going to school, and by chance her teacher picks her as a member of the community outreach committee. So, and the same teacher also suggests a musical for the outreach event. So through this committee, she meets this boy who acts kind of laid back and cool, but he's very considerate, very perceptive, empathetic, and eventually she opens up to him a little bit, and he asks her if she's tried conveying her feelings through song instead, because maybe that doesn't count. Maybe you won't hurt people if you sing. And so that's essentially how it goes down. Like a girl who's too afraid of hurting others to express herself, she manages to do it through song. It's actually it's got those sad parts, but it's really heartwarming and sweet.
Yeah, it sounds like a sad story that turns quite wholesome.
Yes, because of her, other characters kind of realize too that even though they talk, they haven't been expressing what they really feel.
Yeah.
And
that's nice.
It follows a couple of the other characters as well, and their own traumas, and why they've acted a certain way, and how they pushed others away from them, essentially.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil too much. There's some parts that they throw in that you don't expect that I really like. You can be happy even if you don't find your magical prince or princess or whatever. And there's a couple of kids having a fight, and one of the kids is like, says to the other, I wish you would just disappear. I wish you would just go away. I don't ever want to see you again. And she just kind of forgets herself and that she's not supposed to talk. And she just screams, don't tell someone to disappear like it's nothing. And words can really hurt somebody. It's just such a, I don't know, it's such a nice little message. Feels real, but also very genuine. I actually, I almost cried at one part. It's very sweet. The animation is really amazing. Like you said, it has a sad premise, but it turns out very wholesome, very sweet, and heartfelt. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I watched it twice, actually, because I showed my girlfriend when she came home. I was like, you have to see this.
Yeah, I might have to check that one out myself, actually. That sounds quite a nice film.
It's an anime movie?
Okay, I thought it might be, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds that way.
No, I don't mean as in like, yeah, you would. I mean...
No, yeah, it's got that sort of feeling to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just had a good time this time, yeah. Well, I had a good time last time too, but it was also kind of a mixed bag. So, what thing did you try this time? Oh, are you in pain again? What did you do to yourself?
So... I said this time, I want to try a music genre because we're just kind of alternating a lot between watching and playing things. I thought I'm going to try some music because I listen to so much music and I listen to a huge variety of genres, all sorts. I'm into everything from pop to scream rap. I love it. So this time there is a genre that I have always said I hate it, but I've never really tried it. So I said to myself, all right, well, whilst I'm painting this stand, that I'm going to listen to some drum and bass. Oh my god, I hate it. I still hate it.
Oh no. That's it? That's all?
I still hate it. I really do. I tried it. I really tried. I found a playlist by a gentleman named Adrian called Drum and Bass Bangers. And I thought, alright, if Adrian thinks they're bangers, then I trust him. I should not have trusted him.
I'm not very good at genre names, so what is drum and bass as a genre?
Okay, so it's kind of the way that the songs are structured is that it's just sort of like a cute little dance beat. You got like a standard sort of pop dance beat, whatever. And then it just suddenly launches into like this like really heavy drums.
Oh my god.
It's, I don't know, people love it, and people play it a lot from their cars around here. It's very much music of the lads. My husband quite likes drum and bass. Yeah, my brother-in-law, he's done some painting work for, I think it was a guy from a band called Massive Attack, and so my husband was like, hey, you should listen to some Massive Attack, you should listen to some Pendulum. I'd heard of them. I have actually heard, I think, a couple of Massive Attack songs I like, but so I tried Pendulum this morning, and oh god, no.
How dare you?
No, I hate it. I'm sorry.
I love Pendulum.
Maybe I need to listen to more of it, but I just...
No, I mean, if it's not
just that
what
premise
you like,
of the...
then...
No, it just...
Because I already like it. Not as in it's all I listen to. There's some I don't like, but I do like some of Pendulum's stuff.
I'm sure there are some lovely songs by Pendulum, but my god, I don't know. I feel like an old person when I talk about it like this, but it's as soon as that beat kicks in, and it sounds like it's going to be really good, and then it's just...
Oh my
and then
God.
like drums, and it's just noise to me, which is funny because I listen to a lot of potentially shit music. I really love a really heavy, strong beat. Because I know our mutual friend Merc was like, God, I can't listen to the stuff you listen to. It's too heavy, it's too dancey kind of thing. And yet, drum and bass is just what gets me. I just can't. That's where it ends.
See, I didn't know it was called that because I just kind of listen to music and I don't know what genre it is unless it's like symphonic metal or Schlager.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with, so I know the name of it. But I'm not very good at the name of certain genres, so I didn't even know it was called that and that I actually listen to it fairly often.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've known a lot of people who do very much enjoy a bit of drum and bass, but I just can't get into it.
I was going to be like, at your back, kind of be like, yeah, that sounds like shit. I don't know what it is. But it sounds like it fucking sucks. And then you mentioned Pendulum. And I was like, how dare you? It's okay though. Like,
dare you?
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you listen to that is not my thing. So I totally get it.
It's not to do with the fact that it's loud and heavy. I listen to a lot of metal rap and stuff. And
it's just not how you like your beats to go.
No, it's not. It's just a bit jarring, I find, for me personally, when it kicks in, and I'm just like, oh my god.
You put some music on a plate, you take your fork and knife, and you put it in your mouth, and you're like, you know, I like my beats with a bit
less.
Yeah.
It's
with a bit more of a
yeah, music's very subjective. I can't do it. I just hate drum and bass. I'm sorry. I'm standing by it.
At least we both like Blackpink and Lady Gaga, so that's fine.
Oh yeah. We can still be friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if somebody doesn't like that, then I'm gonna come after them, and no, I'm not gonna.
I was gonna say and do what?
I was gonna say I'm gonna come after them. I'm gonna get them. But what am I gonna do when I get them? Make them listen
just
to
be like
Pendulum?
That would be, well, for me, that would be true torture, so...
Yeah,
fair.
It's fine, because if you don't like Lady Gaga or Blackpink, then that means more Lady Gaga and Blackpink for me, and for River.
Yeah, me too. I need some as well.
Yeah. You need some to cleanse your palate from the...
Oh, the... Yes, absolutely.
That's literally just Darude's Sandstorm, though.
Yes, Darude Sandstorm is a song that I will sing. I will perform, ironically, but that's my song for when I'm in the zone, you know, especially if we're playing a game and it gets really intense, and it's my hyperdrive song. It's when I go in... Anyway, I gotta shut up.
You cannot tell me, though, that you hate Darude Sandstorm.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
What
genre is it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
actually.
I guess it feels kind of like its own isolated thing.
Yeah.
The genre is Darude Sandstorm.
Yes, yeah, it's its own thing. It's its own entity, and I do respect that, I have to say.
Yeah.
Now, there was another genre that I was thinking about trying, and I might try it. Just thought this might be an interesting thing to talk about. Catholic psychedelic synth folk.
Oh my goodness.
Might give that a go.
I guess I should look up some genres then. The thing is, though,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've already given it a go because, as I said, I don't know the names of genres. I just listen to stuff.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you listen to a song and then you're like, oh, that's what it's called. That's what the genre is. I've done that so many times. Anyway, yeah.
That went the way that it went, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't like drum and bass, and it's not as bad as the one who said he didn't like crinkle cuts, so I'll let it slide.
Yeah, we'll let him go for now. I mean, if he said he didn't like Lady Gaga and Blackpink as well, then we might have had some words, but...
I guess I'd have to come after them and get them, as I said.
To get them, yeah.
What are you gonna do? Get me? And then they misunderstand and they're like, oh, nobody ever gets me. I should have made a better threat.
Yeah.
I might have not brought a pacifist this time, at least, so what character did you bring?
Also not a pacifist.
Oh.
Again,
oh.
I don't think I brought a single pacifist yet.
What about Hagrid?
Hagrid might be.
Yeah.
I guess Hagrid's sort of a pacifist. He's just not allowed to perform magic. But
He's
that
not.
doesn't matter.
He's not allowed because.
He's not allowed to perform magic.
Yes, but low poly Hagrid is not allowed to do anything.
It's just because of his low poly count. Stop judging him. He can't help it.
I like his
He was
low
born
poly
like that.
count.
He was born that way, Prince.
Yeah, it's what I love about him, so it's okay.
Well, I've not taken. I've brought. Taken him from his home in the night. I've brought the King of Kings, the Chad of Chads, Torbjorn from Overwatch.
I was considering him, and it would have been very funny if we both picked
Torb versus Torb.
Yeah, exactly, the same character.
It'd be like the Torb hammer battles that you see.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you pick him since he's the love of your life.
He is, actually. I'm sorry to my husband, but Torbjorn is actually the love of my life.
Yeah, I was about to say something nice about him, and my brain just fried completely and had to restart.
Like, no.
So let me say mine. So mine is Gladiolus from Final Fantasy 15. So
Ooh.
I know he's very, very big, strong boy.
So, yeah, sorry,
very
quite like him.
Beautiful man. He's got his moobs out. He's got his abs. And that brings me to the first item on the list of things that I wrote about him, which is could probably wash clothes off of his abs. So strong.
This is true, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about Torbjorn's physical strength because, we have seen him with his shirt off because he's got that skin where he's in his swimming trunks.
I love that you say that because some people may not understand that when you say skin, you mean a costume.
Oh, yes! Yes,
He's
like
got
a
that
costume
skin.
in the game. Yes, no, it's an in-game cosmetic.
Yes.
Change his outfit.
He's a
so
bit,
he's just wearing
he's
his
a bit
swimming
stocky,
trunks.
but he's also got a lot of robot arm stuff. So
Well, he's only got one, but yeah.
oh, that's right. I don't
hang
ever
on,
get a good look at him because whenever I look at him, I get blinded, like looking straight into the sun.
You know what? That is unironically how it feels when I look at him. I just look at him and that's Torbjorn, and I don't spend too long on it.
Yeah, and
guess.
before anyone misunderstands, I'm not saying he's ugly. I'm saying he's radiant, like the sun.
He is. Yes, that is exactly how I would describe him.
Yes, and so continuing off of Gladio's points, he's a bodyguard, so he's experienced at fights, I suppose. Confident, which is nice. But then I get to the next part of the list, which says maybe a bit too confident, actually. Has some anger issues, maybe.
Sometimes he's mean to me when I'm playing Final Fantasy 15, and it makes me sad.
He is mean to... Yeah, it makes me sad the entire time because he's kind of always mean to you for no reason. When they're all together, they're bros and they're like a family and it's very sweet. But then when they're one-on-one, him and the main character, he gets very kind of like, man up, pussy, like...
Yeah. It's just like when you accidentally swing your sword and he's like, what are you doing?
Oh my
God. And it's like, I'm sorry. I genuinely feel like I've been told off. And I'm like...
Yeah, he really likes to tell you off. I think that's his way of toughening you up for your own good and etc. It's not my kind of macho way to do that, but the way he deals with grief is also anger, so he has some issues there, but
He's
that...
a bit angry.
Who knows, that might make him a better fighter. He might make Torb cry. He might make him very sad, but I don't know if anything can make Torb cry.
Torb's pretty solid emotionally and physically.
Yeah, so what, do you have any points that you can share about this wonderful man and his wonderful beard?
He's got a hammer, and I love that.
Oh, yeah, that means it's always hammer time. That's a good point.
Yes, he's extremely intelligent. Apparently, according to the Overwatch lore, he is something like the best weapons maker in the world. I mean, that's obviously just according to Overwatch lore, so who knows.
So he's intelligent and he's Swedish. Yes. Which is very good also.
Oh, well, yes. I mean, not that you're biased on that one.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, Torbjorn's height might also give him an advantage. He's 4'7", so if Gladiolus swings his blade, whatever, then Torb can just run underneath him.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And he's got a hammer so he can knock him in the kneecaps.
I was about to say he can just give him a smack on the kneecaps with his hammer and that causes some damage. Also, this isn't to do with the fight, but he's got 8 grandchildren. I thought he had like 20 children.
He would have to have some children to get that many grandchildren, right?
I know, but I don't think Brigitte's got any children. That's his daughter. I'm very confused about his family setup, actually. I don't know where all those grandchildren have come from. How many kids has he got? I have so many questions.
He seems like he's got a lot.
Yeah, but the only daughter he's got listed is Brigitte, and I don't think she has any kids, but then that's never been explored, so who knows?
That's because, I'll tell you why, it's because they can't find enough Swedish voice actors. They only found the one for Brigitte.
There's that, and they haven't released any lore in God knows how long.
Honestly,
that actually means
that's
anything.
kind of what Overwatch is like. You'll be like, I think this is what this character has, but I don't know because it can't be confirmed, but I'm pretty sure I know it from somewhere.
But then also they'll like completely change it in a couple of weeks, and then you're like, oh, okay, never mind. For the record, Prince and I both met in Overwatch. That's why we're, I guess.
Yeah, we're still a little bit of the Overwatch nerd still attached to us. But back to the potential fight.
Back to the fight. I mean, he's got a turret, pretty handy.
Yeah, that's true. It's very annoying, that turret. Very annoying.
It is very annoying,
and Gladio, he seems like he gets frustrated fast, so that might disrupt his cool. However, he could just get up and kick Torb like a little football.
Imagining that now, I'm sorry.
And launching him into the stratosphere.
Yeah. This would absolutely not be like last week where we were like, they could become a domestic couple, it would be lovely. These two would absolutely go for it, I think.
Yeah.
And when I say go for it, I mean in a fight.
Yeah, in a fight. In a
fight,
right?
In a fight, yeah. Oh, no, don't. We've already made enough crack ships.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. No, these
Please
people...
don't draw this one.
These now you've set it in stone.
Oh, no, please.
These guys are gonna go for the throat, I think. Torb can't reach it, but he can try. Because when Gladio leans down to give him a punch in the face, Torb can grab him by the throat and choke him.
Sorry, I'm just visualizing it.
With his robot arm. Because
I'm just visualizing Gladio being leant over Torb and Torb just reaching up and just...
yeah, just like really kind of unexpectedly
just
murderous.
Suddenly...
He's just kind of like...
Oh my god. Oh,
but yeah,
so
because
funny.
Gladio's got some guns, you know? He's got his biceps.
Yeah.
But who knows how strong a robot arm can be?
Quite strong. I mean, let me have a look at it. So his robot arm as well, it's like a claw.
Yeah, it's like a claw, so it fits perfectly around somebody's neck.
Yeah, and looking at this, it's also got like spikes on the end, so if he got a good... good.
So he could hang off of Gladio by the neck and then bonk him on the head with his hammer. And Gladio would just like be trying to shake him off, like, ah! But it's just, he's locked his robot claw in place. There's no way to just pull him off, and he can just hang off of you and bonk you in the head or wherever he wishes, like a rabid dog who just won't let go. He's just there.
Just
he's gonna be
bonking you with his hammer.
Yeah, he's just your collar or your necklace from now on.
His arms are pretty beefy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's got some guns himself.
Yeah, so he could probably hang off of him for quite a while.
Yeah,
I think he probably has the stamina.
It's a war of stamina, I guess. Then of who is gonna give up first, and I think Gladio. Yeah, I think Gladio, he's got his kind of frustration issues. I think he would probably cave first in terms of stamina and patience.
Yeah.
But while Torbjorn is hanging off of him, Gladio can just kind of...
shank him.
Yeah, he still has his hands free. He can crush him like a pea if he's got strong enough hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is difficult. I don't know who would win in a fight. It depends on who does it first. Because they both have... Yeah, they both have the opportunities, but someone needs to...
It's very conditional.
Yeah.
I think. It's also factoring in the turret, all that kind of stuff. But I guess we're just talking about a man-on-man fight here.
Yeah, but Torb that's his skill, right? He uses his turrets to do stuff. So, yeah, while Gladio's trying to get at Torb, maybe he gets distracted by this little man hanging off of him, and he just gets shot in the head by a turret.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is true. Torbjorn may have the upper hand here, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. It's not cheating because Gladio is, like, more than double his size, so he has to make up for it with, like, an extra turret.
Absolutely. That's the thing, and I mean, Gladio doesn't have any armor or anything either, so...
True. He's just got his boobs.
He's just got his boobs out, and, you know, a turret shot through that. Ooh.
Yeah, turret shot right through the nip. He's not gonna make it. Gladio is fucking dead.
What a way to go.
Yeah, oh, I salute him for trying, but nobody could have done this, is what I realize now.
Yeah, that's the trouble. I mean, unfortunately, I feel like I've cheated a bit here, because whoever you brought would have been at a disadvantage.
Except if I'd also brought Torb.
And that's, yeah, if you'd also brought Torb, then that would be
waiting.
Battle of the Ages.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the moment where we both bring the same character without knowing it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe that will happen.
Today was...
It almost happened today.
Yes, it always happened today. I was going to pick someone else for today, but then I backtracked at the last second and said, oh no, I think Torb would be way better, so maybe I'll save that person for next time.
Yeah, I did the opposite. Man, should have gone with my first instinct.
Oh, sad times.
I'm not keeping score or anything about this because it doesn't fucking matter, so we'll just say that Torb wins and that we have brought it home with resounding victory from Sweden.
So you win either way.
Yes. Like I said, it totally doesn't matter, and I still win.
It doesn't matter, but I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah,
really.
to end it all.
End the podcast.
The episode, not the podcast.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Why do I say podcast?
So basically, moral of the story is try new things, but like don't be like us and
give up halfway.
Exactly. Do the things. Go make some memories.
Yes. Oh, I shouldn't have said yes at the end.